Hi, beautiful. Today we are talking about horses. Yes. Horses, y'all. Oh my god. They're so awesome. So, is horseback riding vegan? I think we'll start there. I have a lot of resistance to even talking about this because it's been kind of a mixed feeling for me. I grew up riding horses. The first time I got on a horse, I was like 4 years old in the mountains in Colorado, and I did a trail ride. And I immediately knew that I needed to ride horses, that I needed to connect with these animals as much as humanly possible. So when I went back home to Louisiana, I started taking horseback riding lessons. And that continued and evolved into competing on horses, owning horses, having my own barn, really getting deep into it. And to the point where I was so competitive with the animals and shows and that kind of thing that it stopped being fun. I worked with trainers that would push me so hard and have me jump so high, and I was like a little tiny girl that it ended up like scaring me and being too much and being too stressful, to the point where I was vomiting before going in and competing and having a lot of performance anxiety and feeling like if I didn't win, then none of this was worth it. Whereas the little girl who fell in love with horses in the mountains of Colorado, all she really wanted to do was trail ride and hang out with horses and groom them and pet them and love them and connect with them and chill with them and talk to them and, walk them, trot them, but not in a competitive kind of environment, not in a cutthroat environment, more in a loving, sharing, let's explore this special connection and relationship that humans and horses can have with one another. So, I went vegan. So, I quit riding horses when I was 14 or 15. I just finished my first year of high school, and like I said, I was not feeling it anymore. The competition was not fun. It did not feel good, did not feel aligned. I was not having those experiences anymore where I was able to just enjoy the horses. It was all work and none of that kind of looser, more fun, more therapeutic, energetic exchange that I enjoyed so much, which drew me into horses initially. So I didn't ride from when I was 15 until I was 22. And I became vegan around 21, 22. And I remember my early vegan days being like, horseback riding isn't like ethical. Like, this is really messed up. And seeing some videos and having some guilt around how I used to ride and how I used to compete and how I used to relate to them and what I had seen also, and that really not feeling good. And then I started working in therapeutic horsemanship centers, one in South Carolina and then one in Arizona, where the farm was dedicated to holding space for adults and children with disabilities, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all the kinds, and allowing them to connect in a safe space with the animals, whether that was just grooming them, learning basic horsemanship skills, or actually riding them, whether supported with other human volunteers helping support them on the horse, or more independent riding, depending on the person's ability levels and needs and comfort and experience and goals. So that was a drastically different world, the world of therapeutic horsemanship, apart from the world of competitive horsemanship. It's a world that is much closer to what little girl me fell in love with when I was 4 years old, first being on a horse, because it actually taps into the horse as healer, the horse as energetic, healing, loving, unconditional love, compassionate beingness, teacher, master. Like, supreme enlightened being that can misbehave, of course, but this reservoir of healing energy that when the connection between the horse and the student, the horse and the rider, the horse and the human, whatever their role is in that interaction, when that connection is there, just like magic happens, healing happens, feeling relaxed, feeling grounded, feeling at peace, feeling happy, feeling okay with life, okay with who you are, how you look, what you're working with in life, whatever perceived, real, imagined problems or burdens you're working with, the horse just helps you like dissolve them, move beyond them, kind of relax into the okayness that is your true nature. They are abundantly generous, and the way that the people are then relating to the animals in that kind of context is totally different than how the people are relating to horses in the context of competition, where the horses are just vehicles for money, for acclaim, for, there is, I think, true love there, because I know I felt a lot of love for the animals I was working with in the competitive realm, and I didn't want to wear spurs, and I didn't feel comfortable using bits and whips, and anytime anyone was hard with the horse, I felt very wrong, and I didn't want to make the horse go faster when we were jumping, even though that's what looked right, and that's what would have been more correct and more winnable. So in the world of therapeutic horsemanship, it's let's match horses and riders that connect well and that work together well, and the horses are not worked to the level that the competition horses are worked. They're working maybe an hour a day at a walk, with this little tiny kid on him, and just enough to be exercised and to be able to share their gifts, because I do think they are here to share gifts with other horses, with other humans, with other animals. And that's not to say that they are here just for our purposes. I do not think so. I think they are kind of living being medicine, this living tradition of medicine that can be tapped into, that can be shared. It's like animal medicine, horse medicine. I do believe they are energy healers, and when we can connect with them, when we can honor them and respect them and care for them in a loving way, and exercise them, yes, but not push them too hard, and really give them opportunities to shine with little light beings, these kids with different quote-unquote disabilities or quote-unquote behavior problems, or blindness, deafness, lack of feeling, lack of mobility issues, stiffness, soreness, inability to move certain parts of the body, different mental things going on, things that are labeled like ADHD or OCD or autism spectrum disorders or other so-called behavior problems. And these non-traditional children, aka X-Men, in the access consciousness world, who are, normally pathologized but able to receive horse medicine, able to finally relax, because many of these children, many of these adults, many people don't always communicate in the same way as we're being taught is the right way. And communication with horses tends to happen energetically. And that is a universal language that someone who maybe cannot speak in the way I'm speaking right now to you can connect and can communicate energetically. And the horse is just right there, assuming they are treated with a certain level of respect and getting their needs met and, are healthy and cared for. And, I have the privilege of working in such a space right now, volunteering, playing, enjoying such a space, a therapeutic horsemanship space, that I'm able to witness. And even though I'm a volunteer there, like, I am receiving so much as a student, really, each time I'm interacting with the people there and interacting with the horses there, that it is quite magical. And I'm able to finally ride in a way that feels in alignment also. So one of the problems vegans have with horseback riding, I mean, a lot of the equipment is leather, okay? Like, that just, it is what it is. So that's coming from another animal, a cow, that's being sacrificed and raised and bred against its, natural order of things to then be turned into leather. And that is a reality of the horse world, yes. So there's that issue. There's also the issue of, the horses feeling comfortable in the equipment. And I tend to feel okay myself with my own right discernment, riding in bareback pads, riding with cushions on the horse, on a bareback pad, not like an ordinary saddle with stirrups and all of that. Not that that's wrong necessarily. This is just what feels good for me, is riding in kind of a cushy bareback setup, girthing the horse appropriately, the cinch that holds the saddle or the bareback pad on properly so you don't fall off. And then the center where I ride and volunteer, we are bitless bridles. Pretty much every single horse uses a bridle without a bit, so nothing is in its mouth. It's just like the halter that's used to kind of lead them around, similar to like a dog's leash, where nothing's in their mouth. There's none of this like irritating piece of uncomfortable metal, cold metal in their mouth. And so you can't even, hurt their mouths in the same way that the competition horses are often just kind of jerked around, like, oh, go here, go here. It's very much like, if you don't have that much control of their mouths, you're having to communicate in a different way to tell them where you want to go. You're having to communicate with your mind, visualizing where you want to go, also with your body looking where you want to go. And they know where you want to go. They might have ideas about where they want to go, like back to the barn and eat some more hay, but usually, just with my body and with my mind, I'm able to share with them where I would like to go, and would you be so kind as to take me there so that we can continue enjoying each other's company in this way. So that is how I ride. Is it vegan or not? I don't know. I don't really care. It feels right for me right now, and I think there are many ways to relate to horses, and that, it's a responsibility as a human animal to relate to this, to really namaste this animal, this great being. The light in me sees, honors, recognizes, respects the light in you, because the horse's light is very bright, is very valid, is very valuable medicine in this crazy modern world in which we live. And they are beings of light that can facilitate a lot of healing in us, sometimes pretty crazy, disembodied human animals. So my love goes out to all the horses out there, whether they're competition horses, just chilling horses, wild horses, therapy horses, sick horses, well horses. They're all beautiful, and I hope that we can all appreciate, honor, respect, and care for them in our own individual ways, even if it's just opening your mind into a space where, yeah, man, vibes. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I know this could probably be somewhat controversial, and like I said, I had a lot of resistance to making this video because I think it's an important topic. It's a really big part of my life, And I have at different times been like, oh no, like, is this vegan? Is this ethical? And right now, the way I'm relating feels really good. And I'm seeing other people relate in that way to horses, and it makes me really happy. So, like this video if you like it, subscribe for more, check out links in the description for more ways to connect with me and get my books and that kind of thing. Much love to you. Namaste.